And now back to Focus on Diversity with Troy Shaw.
And welcome back to the program. Welcome to our show examining Michael McGee's career here in southeastern Wisconsin and the plight of the African American male and or woman here in southeastern Wisconsin. Victor, we were about to go to you in regards to his problems. As stated, Mike has been somebody who's been involved with you to a degree. Tell me how you perceive the problems of Michael McGee.
Well, just to be honest with you, like I stated before, he's done some good things in our community, been involved in situations that were not positive. And just being honest with you, I wish that he was not involved in those things because he has done some good things for our community. And if it wasn't for him, we would need somebody. There's a need in our community for somebody to raise awareness about certain things that's going on. Our community is having a lot of problems that if we don't work to correct some of those problems, it's going to get worse and eventually get to a point that is terrible. And I think he has raised some issues and some concerns that made people pay attention to things. I wish somebody else would do it along with him so it wouldn't be he's the only one doing it. But as far as his problems, I just really, truthfully honest, wish they weren't there.
I have conversations with some of my white colleagues, and I'll be honest with you, they cannot understand this fascination that African Americans have with Mike McGee. Now, many of them think that this fascination only lies with the impoverished African American community. I'm here to tell you that this is not just with the African American, what may be deemed as the lower income African Americans, but African Americans in middle income and higher income look at Michael McGee as a glimmer of hope. Why? The question is why? Why would African Americans, from a higher educational standpoint, deem Michael McGee as a glimmer of hope, Mike?
Because we all have a vested interest in the city of Milwaukee. And let me give you a few statistics. You know, in 1967, the black unemployment rate was 50+%. In 2007, the black unemployment rate among black males is 50+%. In 1967, the black poverty rate was 40%. In 2007, the poverty rate is 40%. I could keep going on with all these statistics. There's a reason why Milwaukee has been deemed the worst place in the United States for black people. And one of the reasons why is because we've had these stagnant black political leaders who play into the status quo, who never shake or rock the boat, and nothing has changed over the years. The only time there has actually been progress is when you've had somebody, as Victor was alluding to, who shakes the tree. Mike McGee has assumed that role, and people can see benefits. You know, we can talk all day about crime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or if we just talk about minority business participation, you know, we have a vested interest in that. So if finally you have somebody who stands up like Mike McGee and tells white corporate America or tells these businesses that come in for these multi-million-dollar city projects, you're not going to do business as usual. You're going to start hiring black folks. You're going to start spreading the wealth. And so middle-class black folks see a value in that. They understand that we need him shaking his tree.
Now think about that. Think about that. See, I don't condone what Michael McGee has been allegedly done, what he has allegedly done. But I do like the fact that he is the only African-American politician that you can visibly see that does frighten the white power structure that is so prevalent in southeastern Wisconsin. I mean, that is no disrespect. It's just a fact, and it's a fact from a lot of African-American perspectives. When I say that to you, Robin, do your perspectives somewhat sway a little bit towards Mike?
My perspective on Michael McGee doesn't sway a little bit. And you know what? I think a lot of African Americans, particularly in Milwaukee, looked to Michael McGee and they had high hopes for him because it's rare in a political situation that you have African Americans that are in a position of power that are exceeding, they're doing well in the community. And it's a disappointment when you see a person in that power abuse that opportunity because he can do so much and he could go so much further. But when you involve yourself in things that are negative like that, it takes away from the African American community and it casts a bad shadow. So I think it's a disappointment that he abused this opportunity that it was given because it's a privilege, because if it weren't, there would be lots more African Americans that were in this realm trying to do positive things. And I feel like it's a wasted opportunity because someone else who was willing to do things in a positive way could have taken that and done better things.
Well, then go ahead, Vic.
I think our community is really wanting things to get better. I think they really want a leader. They want somebody to do something about it, stand up and fight for us. And I think when Mike came to the forefront. A lot of people said, here it is. Here's that person that's going to do this for us. Our community is getting worse. Everybody won't say that.
How can you
Mike will say
exactly.
that.
How can you expect a person to fight the kind of fight that Mike has to fight and not get dirty? How can you expect a person? I mean, even our own president and our vice president has said, if we're going to take the fight over there to Iraq, we got to be willing to do what they're willing to do to us.
See, and the part of the
and yet
issue,
we're not willing to say the same thing for maybe some of our politicians. I don't know. I'm just making an observation.
See, and the issue is he's fighting the fight, but he's also a part of the problem. Like taking money from community members, that's a part of the problem. Having extramarital affairs, that's part of the problem. They're talking about how the problem in the African American community is the lack of the father in the home. And what about the sanctity of marriage? Like, he's married. Why are you having an affair with a woman that you're old enough to be her father? I actually went to middle school with this young lady. So what does that say about him? That it's just perpetrating all the negative stereotypes.
We
like,
obviously
how can you fight the fight when you're the problem?
Well, we obviously didn't care when the president of the United States did it. Heck, he even got impeached and he still was in office. But when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation. This is going to be an all Mike McGee show. Stay with Focus on Diversity. We're going to be right back.
Hi, I'm Andy Schlesinger, president of Andrew Toyota Scion. It's been said that word of mouth is the best form of advertising. With that in mind, I invite you to listen to what our customers have to say.
Whatever I needed, the service was done in great timing, and I was totally satisfied.
A few years back, had extensive damage to one of my vehicles, and fortunately the body shop did such a nice job you couldn't tell it from new. I was very pleased.
Andrew Toyota Scion, 15th and Silver Spring, where customer service is not a department, but our passion.